kind of overwhelmed with the possibilities of this conversation. My original question is kind of washed out by the last question. And something you said about one awareness, one consciousness, one experience. Yet I value individuality in spite of the fact I am confident that there's one awareness, one consciousness. If we map the experience of each person in this room, they each have a unique trajectory, a unique history, if they mark down this and that experience. It all comes from the one life that we are. Yet we all have our own unique point of view. You are looking this way, I'm looking that way. There's nothing incompatible with having our unique being or point of view and being one being. Can you speak to that?
I completely agree with you.
Oh, good. Okay. Then I'll go to my question, which actually isn't a question, it's a request, since people came here to hear you speak, not me. And that would be to hear you relate this ever-present existence, this experience that I am, that we are, individually and collectively, and the quality of life and how it relates to the quality of attention and the quality of this experience. Or experiencing.
Well, let's take the realm of relationships. As so much of our life is involved with relationships with others. Just do this experiment that I suggested to the lady earlier. That up until now, most of our relationships have been founded upon this presumption. I have my own parcel of awareness in here, and you have yours in there. Just before you engage in relationship with anyone, in a conversation, any kind of relationship, just pause, establish in your experience the conclusion that you've come to, that we are essentially one being. And then allow that feeling understanding to condition the quality of relationship that you have. Whether it's a relationship with your intimate partner, whether it's a relationship with a cop that's giving you a speeding ticket, whether it's a relationship with a guy at the checkout counter, your bank manager, your kids, whoever it is, first take this feeling understanding that what they essentially are and what I essentially am are one, are identical. And then allow that feeling understanding to play itself out in the relationship, whatever the particular color of the relationship. Of course, as you say, there's a tremendous diversity of possibilities of relationship, but allow all those different relationships to be informed by this feeling understanding, and see what response you get back from the cop, the shopkeeper, your kids. It's in the response we get that the answer to this question comes. It doesn't come as a perfectly formulated non-dual concept. It can be formulated as a concept later on, but the answer itself is a living, experiential, moment-by-moment response. That's one example. Another example would be this, that if you go very deeply into what you are, this pure awareness, we find that it cannot be agitated. Thoughts can be agitated, feelings can be agitated, the body can be agitated, but that which is aware of them cannot. It's like the space of this room. It just allows everything. It doesn't get agitated by what we do or don't do. It doesn't need, the space in this room doesn't need us to be sitting peacefully and quietly. So discover that about yourself. In other words, that your nature is peace, undisturbable peace, and undisturbable peace is identical to happiness, because there's no rejection of the current situation. There's no feeling, I want to reject what is present and go off and search for what is not present in order to become happy. I, awareness, am already totally at peace. Discover that about yourself, and then re-engage with the world of objects. On what basis would you engage with objects? You would never seek happiness in an object again. You'd never seek love in a relationship again. That doesn't mean to say that you'd cease engaging with objects and relationships. No, you keep engaging with them, but not on the basis of wanting to derive happiness or love from them. You engage with them because you feel at peace and loving, and you want to share that, you want to express that, you want to celebrate it, but you no longer want happiness from an object. You no longer want love from a person. See how that changes your experience. That you're quite right. Joy comes from what you are. Joy lives in our own being.
It's our true nature.
Happiness is the knowing of our own being. Yes. It's knowing of itself. Everybody is seeking happiness, which means everybody is seeking the end of separation, which means everybody is seeking their own being. Our culture has persuaded us to look for happiness in objects, situations, and relationships, and for this reason, the poet Thoreau said, most men lead lives of quiet desperation. It's true of almost all 7 billion of us, because we're looking in the wrong place for happiness. It resides, as you rightly say, in the simple knowing of our own being. It's equally available to everybody. That's the greatest discovery one can make about oneself.